Okay, next speaker is Tierry, and I don't even dare to pronounce your afternoon,
okay.
from SYSGO. So we're going to talk about PikeOS, I guess, and the GR740.
Indeed.
Perfect, thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're not tired to hear about GR740 because I'm going to talk about it in a different context, context of PikeOS. Oops. And in particular for a specific use case, which is the space rider. So I've been with SYSGO for 5 years now, but I worked a long time at Wind River as well. So I've been in the business of real-time operating system for quite a while. So SYSGO, in case you don't know, it's a fully European company, headquartered in Germany, and fully owned by Thales, the Thales Group. Sorry. It has belonged to Thales for about 10 years now. We celebrated actually our 30 years of existence, and we have 3 main products. So PikeOS, you may have heard about it. So our real-time operating system and Type 1 hypervisor. We have also a slight adaptation of PikeOS for the architecture with MPU. And also we distribute our own embedded Linux distribution. So these are the main products. We focus on critical solutions for critical system, so where certification, qualification or evaluation are required for safety or security. We also provide a graphical development environment, which is Eclipse-based. So this has been field proven. It's already deployed in tens of thousands of systems in different markets. So we don't address only aerospace and defense, but also the industrial market, transportation, in particular railway, for instance, and also automotive. So we can leverage certification that are being done in these other different markets and apply it to the space industry. So we provide also other services. So PikeOS, as I mentioned, is not just a hypervisor. You may know it as a hypervisor, but it's really also a real-time operating system, so with hard real-time behavior. And through the hypervisor functionality, we can host different type of application environment, like Linux, of course, but also POSIX, PikeOS native environment, AutoSAR, or ARINC 653 for specific markets like automotive and avionics. So we support multi-core systems, and the architecture of the operating system is based on a separation kernel. So we allow for mixed criticality. So you can host on your GR740, for instance, application that require category A qualification mixed with other functionality requiring lower level of criticality. So we have also a slight different variant for processor based on an MPU, so that do not have a full MMU. So this is pretty much transparent for the application development. You have access to the same APIs, same development environment. This is annoying. And this product was developed specifically for the Dahlia NG Ultra. So we support the Cortex, the ARM Cortex R53 and also R5 processors. So with this combination of product, PikeOS and PikeOS for MPU, we can also support architecture with a heterogeneous system, like you can find these days on ARM, like Xilinx platform that have both R5 and Cortex-A processors. Maybe in the future we'll see that also for RISC-V. So with these 2 certifiable products, you can combine this kind of, you can apply them to this complex hardware architecture. Yeah, that would be nice.
That should be okay.
Thank you. So now specifically about the Geyser GR740 platform. So we have developed a BSP, but not only, we of course adapted what we call the architecture support package, the ASP, to be able to qualify it to ECSS, and we'll see a bit more details later on that. We have also adapted what we call the platform support package. You can see that as a minimal BSP, board support package, adapted again to be able to qualify it to ECSS. And then we provide a certain set of device driver with our BSP, Ethernet, serial. In the context of the Space Rider project, Thales Alenia Space will develop additional drivers like PCI, 1553, and others. PikeOS also provides some add-ons as part of the BSP or the operating system, like the possibility to use dynamic ticker, so that allows you to have a configuration, a tickerless configuration, or to reduce the impact of tick management on the overall system. So you get basically a higher CPU bandwidth via this mode. We also provide IO-MMU support. So that's interesting when you have device driver for devices issuing DMA transfer that are not certified to the highest level. In that case, the IO-MMU is used to protect the operating system and your category A application, for instance, from corruption through the DMA transfers. And there are some other functionality like partition switch overrun management or detection. So what is our strategy for the qualification, the ECSS qualification? So first, the target. It's not just a target, it's a commitment, actually. We are committed to deliver for the operating system and the BSP, or the scope of the BSP, SYSGO is responsible for all of the category A artifacts by the end of Q2 next year. So it's well on the way already. It's mostly done for the operating system, and now we are working on the qualification of the BSP. So the approach is, of course, to reuse the artifacts we already have generated for PikeOS on other architecture for other market, like for instance the DO178C DAL-A artifacts we have generated for PowerPC, the one we are currently generating for ARMv8. So we reuse these artifacts, thanks also to some analysis that were done under an ESA contract to see how we can reuse DO178A artifacts from the avionic and apply them to a CSS qualification. So basically, what are the activity that needs to be added to the DO178C certification? What needs to be skipped, I would say. And so thanks to these existing artifacts for avionics, the analysis that was done under the ESA contract, were able, with reasonable effort, to generate category A artifacts for the GR740 BSP and for the PikeOS RTOS as well. So we also have created a specific ISVV package, so the independent software verification validation kit for this process. So we will deliver to Thales Alenia Space and the ESA basically a PC that will contain the framework that will allow the re-execution of the test suite and the qualification suite necessary to validate the BSP and the operating system on the final hardware. And then, of course, the ESA will participate to this review. Not part of this particular Space Rider program is any requirement about cybersecurity, but we have also some activities around cybersecurity that could be applied in the future. Like, for instance, you may not know, but PikeOS has been evaluated using the common criteria international standard up to a fairly high level, like EL5+. So we can reuse these evaluation artifacts also to apply it to a different architecture. So we could add, for instance, Spark Leon 4 to our existing common criteria certificate. Again, PikeOS is fairly modular, so what is architecture specific is fairly limited. There is also an ongoing ITT effort, which is looking at cybersecurity requirement, not for PikeOS, but for PikeOS for MPU. So for the other version of PikeOS that is also used in the space domain. So a bit of return on experience on the GR740. So it's a well-defined architecture. We have cache currency between cores that facilitates things, allows to have quite a good level of performance when we run PikeOS on it. The IOMMU allows to use some of this separation and space and timing partitioning of PikeOS. So, and in particular, the mixed criticality functionality of PikeOS. So we are not forced to certify to category A or to the highest level of qualification, CSS qualification, all of your software components. You can decide to have, for instance, the Ethernet driver or some other driver not certified or certified to a lower level. There is support for hardware debugger through GRMon. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, and also availability of the simulation through TSIM. So we use it internally at SYSGO, TSIM and TSIM and GRMon. Disadvantages, I think that has already been mentioned, the fact that the unique processor memory bus is kind of a bottleneck. The second bullet, I think it's an error. I do believe that actually the GR740 allows for some level of last level cache partitioning through locking of cacheways. So I think that's a mistake. Concerning the tooling aspect, so of course with PikeOS you get a graphical development environment that allows you to debug. But since we have a great cooperation with Geisler, a great partnership, Geisler is currently prototyping the implementation or the addition of PikeOS awareness within GRMon. So you have, for instance, here on this slide, a screenshot of the current state of this OS awareness. So that allows you to have visibility when you debug on PikeOS threads, tasks, also stacks, in particular during partition switch or thread switch. So this is a work in progress. So it's working on the actual GR740 hardware on the simulator. And this is expected to be delivered in one of the next GRMon release. And the same work is being done also on the RISC-V architecture, since PikeOS also support that architecture. So there are several projects ESA sponsored where you will find the Thales Alenia Space onboard computing platform that was described this morning by Thales Alenia Space. So you will find this OBC in different projects, whether it's Galileo or Copernicus, like the CHIME, CIMR, and others, and also in particular for the Space Rider, and some other confidential project as well that I cannot talk about. Concerning Space Rider, so this is a robotic laboratory that will stay in low orbit. It's unmanned, and so it needs to return to Earth in order to unload its payload. This is why actually category A was required for this. So that's why we are, that we will deliver not just category B, but actually category A artifacts on the operating system on the BSP. So this is a project that are being worked on by Thales Alenia Space Italy in particular, and Avio. So we have already delivered operating system and BSP to these two partners, and also in addition to other subcontractors like GMB, for instance. And that's my last slide. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.